My name is Jai, and in the last 10 years, I've gone from a building site as an apprentice tradie carpenter earning $8 an hour to co founding one of Australia's fastest growing e commerce brands at the time to now building a personal brand and showing all the behind the scenes and the processes of essentially starting from zero to growing what I hope will be a really valuable and really impactful personal brand in the future. So, I grew up in Adelaide, finished school, went to university for one semester, and then dropped out and fell into a carpentry apprenticeship. And I thought that was my calling in life. I loved it. It was really beneficial for me at the stage that I was at. I was immature, I was young, I was partying all the time, and it was just a really good job for me to have. But really early on, I started to feel like it wasn't a long term solution. I never liked the people I was working with. I never liked the industry as a whole. I hated being yelled at, treated like shit because we're apprentices. So I didn't really fit in as much as it was a good job for me. I never felt like it was going to do it forever. I hated the toll on my body. I hated being on job sites for 8 to 10 hours a day in the rain, the sun, whatever it is. So at 23, 24, after being a qualified carpenter for 3 or 4 years, kind of working odd jobs, working for myself, I'd built a nightclub with some friends, and that was an incredible experience because it gave me a taste of working for myself and having some sort of freedom, even though I was still quite tied to the job and the job site every day. And I was burnt out though. I was, again, partying too much, lost in life, had no direction. And so I quit everything and went to work in a warehouse packing orders. Now, my friend at the time, my best friend growing up, Davey Fogarty, had started the Udi and calming blankets, and there were two crazy e-commerce brands. I had no idea what he was doing. He just kept asking in our group chat if anyone wanted to come pack orders because he had no staff. So one day I said yes, and I kind of never left. I was doing nothing but sitting on the couch anyway. So I got to see firsthand just how crazy his businesses were and how quickly they were scaling. These were like very early on businesses, but doing hundreds of orders a day, thousands of orders, containers coming in, unloading containers, seeing all of this happen. I had no idea what e-commerce was, and I had no idea what he was even doing. But very quickly on, I saw it was this incredible industry opportunity, career path that I could potentially learn and teach myself and go down. So I started with customer service, started asking him to get me out of the warehouse and kind of teach me a bit more about what he was doing and how it all worked. Went to customer service, learned a bit of ops off his brother. And then along that way, I'd somehow convinced him to start something with me. Whether that was a good idea or not, you can ask him. But we launched a brand together in the pet bed space because we saw a huge opportunity to bring what was working in America to Australia. There was no one really here in Australia doing it. And it went nuts from day one, to be honest. Like it worked just because of the timing of the market and the timing of the product. It worked so well so quickly, and it probably worked too well too quickly because I had no idea what I was doing. He had these other businesses. It was just chaotic for essentially 3 years. But within 6 months of me being a carpenter, hating my life, hating my job, to going to working in a warehouse packing orders, not really loving my life still, but kind of a bit less stressed out, to being a full time e-commerce founder. It was crazy. I barely knew how to use my laptop. So to, to give you a really short kind of version of what happened, we scaled to $1 million within 6 months, and we had this massive business, and we were in Europe and Canada before we even knew about it. It just exploded purely because we got the timing so well. We had our messaging right. No one else in the market had seen it. And I guess the biggest reason for our success was from day one, learning this from Davey because he'd obviously known about it. But we placed such an importance on our content and our copywriting. Everything was about our messaging, and that's what we did better than anyone else. Is we took all of the best messaging, not just from pet bed brands, but from supplement brands, from pet supplement brands, all of these other brands. We took their messaging, we studied their ads, and we brought that into our own content. And we dominated that for a very long time until people caught on and saw the opportunity. Now, when that probably really happened was we made the news. We had like a news article, a couple of news articles written about us in the Australian news.com. and it kind of went viral about how we'd started this business, gone to $1 million a month, and everyone kind of jumped on the pet bed craze. So we were definitely one of the first movers, and we definitely made a massive splash at that time, purely based on the fact how good our content was and our timing in the market. I'd never been on camera that whole time. It was very, obviously, it didn't even occur to me that founder-led brands, founder-led content, having a personal brand was a thing. But around the start of 2020, when TikTok was really, really blowing up and coming to Australia, you started to see all these brands in America doing it and seeing all these founders front of house talking about their products, their highs and lows of their day. And that kind of planted the first seed of like, okay, this is clearly something that works for a lot of people. Is it something that suits me right now? No, because I just didn't even consider it. And then seeing Davey start his personal brand, seeing how well that went, all the opportunities that it brought to him was obviously a massive driver of what would be to come. I guess to move on from the e-commerce thing at the end of 2023, after being burnt out, struggling to get things work, facing so many competitors, it was just a race to the bottom on price on that particular product and the logistics of it. So I left and kind of sat down and decided, what do I want to focus on now? What is something that is a bigger opportunity to me personally? And that is, I guess, having a personal brand. Like, yeah, having a personal brand to me is probably one of the most valuable things that anyone can do at this point in time, where we kind of all sit in the world of everything that happens around you. It moves into every part of your life, and it can open up so many opportunities that you don't even know exist. Like, having a personal brand and having a message out there that you share, and education that you share, and value that you give for free brings you opportunities that you don't even know exist at this point in time. So I sat down, I reviewed everything I'd done previously, all my learnings, everything I wanted to get out of my kind of next 5 to 10 years in my life. And it was like, okay, I'm just going to go all in on building a personal brand. Nothing else matters to me at this point in time besides sharing my learnings and sharing what I am passionate about. And that's creating content, whether it's long or short form. Obviously had a lot more success with short form to start with because it's been my main focus, but just being in front of camera and learning the process of how to turn on a camera, how to film, how to record, how to edit, everything that goes into it has been such a rewarding process. And it's been really fun to learn. It's been really challenging to learn. But I guess if I summarize where I'm at in my journey and how things started, I picked up a camera last year properly for the first time and started posting content. Now, none of it worked because I was going about it the wrong way. Like, I had a plan in my head. It didn't really work out for the project that I was working on. I was getting the wrong advice from the wrong people. And then I scrapped all of that and went back to the basics. Asked the right people who had bigger accounts than me, who had grown in the niche that I was trying to grow in, and asked them for the right advice. And they helped me put together all the pieces that I had in my head of like, okay, this is the right way to do it, but you're just executing it on the wrong way. And you take all these little bits of information, you put them back together, and now it goes from not having any traction whatsoever on my Instagram, which is my main focus at the moment, to closing in on 10,000 followers really quickly, purely from just changing slightly the delivery format and the messaging and just what I was actually putting out into the world, instead of trying to shove information down in people's throats, just providing free value and kind of going from there. So I guess where I'm at right now and what I work on, and how I have gone from tradie to founder to just focusing on building a personal brand, is I literally am doing nothing but going all in on sharing my content and sharing my learnings and my experiences along the way. Because I think, as I said at the start of the video, having a personal brand will bring you so many opportunities that you don't even know about yet. Like, you can either monetize your audience, you could get offered something that you don't know what's going to happen. You're like, I don't even know what's going to happen personally. I don't even really have a plan besides I just want to share my knowledge and give as much value away for free and show people, actually, like, this is exactly how I'm growing my personal brand. Like, I talk openly about it in previous videos. Like, at this point in time, it's April the 8th, and I am doing a 30 tips in 30 days series. And that has brought me so much growth already because I've done a challenge series. I'm posting every day. I'm sharing knowledge. I'm not asking for anything. Like, I talk about all those things very openly, and I work with some people on that as well. But my main goal is just to show people how to do it. And then from that, something cool will happen. And I'm very confident of that. So that is the summary of how I've gotten to where I am right now and what I'm focused on. It's purely about, it's not about money or growing a, million person audience at this point in time. It's purely about, let's just tell authentic stories, show the behind the scenes of going from 0 to 10,000, from 0 to 20,000. Like, people starting out, it's much harder to find that information because no one wants to talk about how much they're struggling at the start. Like, I posted 200 videos last year and they all sucked. Like, and I'm very open about that. And I didn't have the right formula. So for me to be able to share that with someone else that maybe hasn't quite figured that out yet, it might be really beneficial to them. And that's kind of the end of the story at this point in time. So make sure you follow me along on Instagram because, as I said, I'm actively showing people the behind the scenes, how I feel and everything, how I learn, how I study, how I, take inspiration from other creators. And then I kind of chop it between posting on Instagram and then trying to do these more long form, just honest, raw takes of what is happening behind the scenes. I guarantee, like, I will be as transparent as possible, and you can ask me any questions. Send me a DM on Instagram, and I will happily help you in any way that I can. If you're, on the same journey as me, or you're just interested to learn or ask questions. So, yeah, make sure you follow along, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit me up on Instagram.